In the village of Asempa, where the red earth baked under the afternoon sun and the evening winds hummed ancient melodies, there lived an old drum seller named Kojo Bodhi. His hands were strong, his back slightly bent, and his voice carried the kind of wisdom that could silence even the noisiest market. Kojo was known for one thing: he could repair any drum, from tiny children's kapanago drums to massive talking drums carried by chiefs. Kojo's workshop was where broken things found their voices again, but few people knew he had a daughter. Her name was Amma Bodhiwakwide, gentle, always listening more than she spoke. Amma spent her days in her father's workshop, sweeping shavings of wood, handing him tools, and wiping dust off the finished drums. One afternoon, when Amma was no more than 12, she pressed her ear against an old talking drum that had just arrived for repair. The drum was cracked, the leather worn, but something inside, it's something she couldn't explain, seemed alive. Then she heard it, a whisper, soft, trembling, almost like the distant voice of a child. "I am thirsty. I am thirsty." Amma jumped back so quickly she fell onto the floor. At first she thought it was a trick of the wind, but the voice came again, this time clearer. "Find me water." Amma ran to her father, trembling. But when she explained what she heard, Kojo's eyes darkened. "Do not tell anyone what you heard," he warned. "People fear what they don't understand." But word spread fast in Asempa. One day, an elder saw Amma touching one of the talking drums. The next day, the entire village whispered, "She hears things. She speaks with spirits. She is cursed." Amma withdrew from the village. Even children avoided her. But as seasons passed, something worse came, a terrible drought. The river shrank until only stones remained. The wells dried. The crops curled up like dying snakes. Even the rain clouds seemed to avoid the sky above Asempa. One night, Amma sat beside a drum her father had been repairing, an ancient talking drum used by the ancestors of the village. As she sat alone, the whispering began again, but this time it was not one voice. It was many, a chorus of spirits, voices old and young, tired, thirsty, impatient. Amma closed her eyes and listened. "We remember where the water sleeps, but only if you are brave enough to follow." The next morning, she told her father she needed to go into the forest. "Amma, no." Kojo shook his head. "People already fear you. If anything happens, if I don't go," Amma whispered, "the village will die." Kojo's face broke, but he let her go. Amma carried only a gourd of dry millet and one of the talking drums. She walked into the forest that villagers called Asuamu, the place where rivers were said to dream. The spirits guided her with drum beats that only she could hear. Left, right, down a steep ravine, through tall elephant grass, across a valley where even birds wouldn't perch. After 2 days, Amma reached an ancient clearing, stones arranged in a spiral, trees twisted like dancers, and in the center, a dry riverbed glowing faintly beneath the moonlight. The spirits whispered urgently, "Dig." Amma used her bare hands, tearing her fingers, scraping her skin, until suddenly, the earth trembled. A soft sound rose, as if the ground itself sighed. Then water burst forth, cool and clear, filling the riverbed, rushing loud enough to wake the sky. Rain clouds gathered, thunder rolled. For the first time in years, Asempa had rain. Amma returned home soaked, exhausted, but triumphant. From that day on, the villagers never called her cursed again. They called her Amma Ensarama, daughter of spirits. And when her father grew old, Amma inherited the workshop. People traveled from villages far beyond the horizon just to meet the girl who could hear the ancestors whisper. And if you ever walk near España on a quiet night, you might hear a talking drum echo faintly in the distance, because Amma still listens, and the spirits still speak.